Mine was
Yeah.
too.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I'd like to welcome you all to the first meeting of the California members of the National Society Descendants of American Farmers. My name is Sue Fitzpatrick, and I am the Northern California Ambassador, along with Chris Hurst-Loeffler, who is the Southern California Ambassador and the National Scholarship Director. So we are glad that you could join us this evening, and we hope that you will be able to learn a little bit about our featured crop of avocados. I need to get some introductions out of the way, so I would like to introduce our honored guests this evening. First is President National Janice Sue Regal. Next is Registrar National Davina Littman. Davina's there, okay. National Organizing Director and Illinois State Ambassador Nancy Gilfun. National Youth Director Maureen Tipton. Madam President National, would you like to bring greetings?
Yes, thank you so much. What an honor it is to be at your inaugural Zoom meeting for California. What fun. It's going to be an event for you. You have quite a few active members that we see, and I know quite a few of you. We have, I will tell you a little bit of history about the National Society, which many of you probably don't know. Davina wanted to start this society about 3 years before she did, 3.5 years before. And it was not the right time. It just didn't happen. So when she did, it was decided that whether it would be 5 people or 50 people, it would be just fine. And her goal was everything would go to scholarships. 60% of the membership would go to scholarships. And if there were ever any supplements, 100% would go to that. So lo and behold, I said, I really only want 100, Davina, 100 by December 31st. And she said, it doesn't matter on the numbers. It doesn't matter on the numbers. So before December the 31st, we had over 400 members. And it was strictly by word of mouth. I will always say that farmers is because of Facebook and God. God first and Facebook second. Because that is how we got the word out. And because of each one of you sharing the words and our goals. Later, Davina will tell you a little bit about the numbers that we have, which we're so thrilled about. This year, it was my pleasure to appoint some directors, which we have never had. And Sue Fitzpatrick is our National Membership Director. Christina is our Scholarship Director. And our magnificent National Organizing Director is Nancy Gilfillan. Cynthia Bixby is with us tonight, and she is my President National Assistant. I also appointed Maureen Tipton. Maureen has been a friend for a number of years, and she is the National Youth Director. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to you, Sue. Thank you so much for inviting us to this magnificent Zoom, and I toast to all of you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers.
Thank you. We'll have Q&A of everyone that speaks this evening later in our meeting. So if you have questions, please do go ahead and put them in the chat, and then we'll pick them up and ask all the questions at the end so that we can get through as much as possible. Now we would like to get we would like to feature our youth member. She is Rustin. I'm having a hard time looking at her because that's such a cute costume. She is a Booty patootie. Eliana Rowe is the youngest member in the state, and I believe currently might actually be one of the youngest members in the organization. I would like to introduce our National Youth Director, Maureen Tipton, so that she can tell us a little bit about the youth program and youth membership and how we ended up with Eliana being one of our youth members. Maureen.
Thank you very much, Sue. And I'm glad to see that Eliana is using her medal. It's a good place for it at that age. At least she's using it compared to some youth members probably just put it in a drawer. So it's a good teething thing. I welcome her as a youth director. I came on board, I guess it was, I mean, I've been a member, but I came on board as a youth director in the fall of last year. I'm along with two other youth directors. In doing that, I started out with putting a newsletter out. I don't think she will be reading it, maybe 2 years. We'll give her 2 years and she can start to learn her alphabet, but we'll put some pictures in the newsletter that she can do. We're trying to go out there and bring the youth members in, because if we don't bring the youth in, we won't have future farmers that are interested in farming. We have 43, is that right, Davina? 43 youth now?
Yes.
Shake
Yes.
your head. Yeah, right. Okay. So we have 43. And what I say to everybody is I challenge you to go out and bring in another youth member. Most of you have maybe a grandchild. Well, we have a child. You may have nieces, nephews. The people you're bringing in as new members, they have children, grandchildren. So we look to expand the youth because we want them to be the future of this organization. I've been working with the children of the American Revolution on the other side of our lineage organization for over 25 years. So I've always been interested in the youth part of our business. And I enjoy working with the kids. I would like to see them grow. Makes me feel old because of, I've seen the children at 6 months old, and then I now see them having 6-month-old babies. That's pretty scary when you see that. You all can relate to that probably, but I do look forward to working with them. And maybe Sarah, I'll give you about a year, and then I'm going to say, hey, Sarah, can you help me think of a question that your little one wants to ask, or ask the farmer in the newsletter? But we look to see how we can help the young people. Come to me and ask me if there's something I can help you with in looking for the youth in your area. You're far away from me. I'm in Maryland. You're the other side with the other ocean. But I'd be glad to help you out. If you have any questions, you can ask at another time. Maybe one day we'll come up and come away to install our youth members. We'll come up with a cute little way to do that. And then we'll go back and install all the youth members. So thank you very much. As I sent Sarah a note, when someone sent me a picture of her in her avocado outfit, and I can remember my grandson in a turkey outfit. And I said, wait till he dates, and I can't wait to show him his date, what he looked like when he was that age in their little cute outfits. But she's really sweet. Thank you for bringing her this evening. It's 9 o'clock here on the other side of the world. Thank you very much. Thanks, Sue.
Thank you, Maureen. So with that, if it's time to put her to bed, that's okay. We understand. But we are going to move on, and Chris is going to tell us a little bit about our featured crop of the evening, which is avocados.
So thank you, Sue. And I was so excited to meet Anna. This is my first time meeting her. So isn't she adorable as an avocado? So we love avocados in California. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about that tonight. And then we have a couple short video clips because we are featuring avocados as a key crop here. So avocados originated in South Central Mexico sometime between 7,000 and 5,000 BC. You know me, you knew you were going to get something like that, right? But it was much later that the domesticated varieties showed up, and it wasn't until 1696 that the first English language mention of the word avocado even came to the surface. Avocados, California, by way of a judge. His name was R.B. Ord. He brought avocado trees from Mexico to his home in Santa Barbara in 1871. And by the 1950s, there were 25 different varieties that were being packed and shipped just in California. So our favorite, of course, is that Hass avocado. It's not Haas, it's Hass. And it has an interesting story as well. In the late 1920s, a mailman by the name of Rudolph Hass purchased a seed from a local grower who was A.R. Rideout. And he planted that seed in a grove in the back of his house in La Habra Heights. So I grew up in North Orange County. This is about 15 minutes from where I lived as a kid. As children tasted the fruit, it was also a hit with all the chefs that were working wealthy people in the area. Hass took out a patent on the 1935. The fruit just grew in popularity, so much so that by the 1970s, it had taken over. Not only does it taste really great, as we know, but it ships well and it's easy to peel because of that unique texture. So Hass's legacy lived on long after death. The original avocado mother tree, so to speak, in La Habra died of root rot in 2002 at the ripe old age of 76. And today, all the Hass avocados in the world go back to tracing their roots to that tree. Avocados, as you know, can grow year-round in California, but the major harvest happens from spring and summer, and really the season begins in April, and you'll hear a little bit about that in short little clips. Avocados use about half as much water per cup produced as one of our other key crops, which are almonds. And as we were talking about before we got started tonight, San Diego County is one of the main growing regions in California. In fact, there's a 22-mile-long stretch on State 15 between Escondido and Temecula, where you'll see groves and groves of avocados lined vertically up the mountainsides. Avocado groves are so plentiful in that area that in 1997, the name Avocado Highway was adopted by a California Senate resolution. So California produces more avocados than any other state. There's bragging rights for California. In 2019, we produced 109,000 tons of avocados, and it takes between 5 and 13 years to grow an avocado, a full avocado fruit from seed. So some avocado information for you to share. And I think we're going to go ahead and move on to the short video clips that we have for you. You good with that, Stu? Okay.
Came down here not knowing a thing about avocados. It was just the beginning, really the beginning of our industry. We love growing avocados. We love what we grow. And the number one, of course, is the Hass avocado. The Hass avocado is a California avocado, started in La Habra. It was introduced from California throughout the world to become the primary avocado that they use in the world today. This grove is 120 acres. 75 acres of that is Hass avocados. We have another 20 or so acres of lamb Hass avocados. We plant these trees, about 100 trees to the acre. Each tree has its own sprinkler system. On the trees this age, we apply about 350 gallons a week to the tree. And because of the drought, we've been doing it year-round. We normally don't like to do it year-round, but that's where we are today. You can see how black and rich the soil is versus the hillside here. The roots are just right under the surface here, all the little feeder roots. It's a very shallow-rooted tree. We usually have a pole, a fiberglass pole that has a small bag on the end of it with a rope and a clipper. This holds about 40 pounds of avocados. We'll climb up the tree, fill up the bags. They clip the stem very close to the fruit without damaging the fruit. Generally, a harvester can pick around 2,000 pounds a day. We do about 1,500 acres in San Diego County, so we manage a lot of groves also. Most of the fruit comes to the outside. The greatest production we get is to leave them the way it is. We can prune the fruit and try to bring the fruit down lower in the sun, but it cuts off a lot of our production. Once after about 10 or 15 years, we'll come through here and cut these trees down to just the stump, and then we'll let them regrow. Now over here we have lamb hats, they're about 3-year-old trees. We'll be harvesting these next month. It's a larger avocado. We have like half the trees putting on the heavy crop, light crop, and so we're always getting somewhat of a consistent production, 800 to 1,000 pounds per tree on the larger, on trees that are 30, 40 years old, and they've been taken care of well. And many of the people right here today have done a wonderful job of avocados. I go and sit down in one of these restaurants and you have avocados on everything. And I mean, it's just wonderful. Plus, the people also pick up on how healthy it is. Everybody's asking for avocados on whatever they get. So it's been a wonderful story. And with avocados, we use very little pesticides. It's just a great product to grow.
Okay. And we have one more for you.
Shot this video several months ago as
Stephen
avocados
Wade
were
began
still
developing an
very
avocado
young and
orchard on his
small
family
on
farm in
trees in
1983
California,
and
and
began
now
growing
we're in
trees
peak
from his own nursery in
California avocado
1989.
season. So
2 years
hope you
ago, he
enjoy
adopted a
this
different
look around
management
the
strategy
farm.
for his orchard. He
You'll be
explains
meeting
how
the
it came
farmer
about
Mimi
and
Holt.
what he's hoping to
Mimi
achieve.
Avocado is her.
We've got 25 acres or 10 hectares planted area, and we've got about 2,000 trees in that area. Where we're standing now, these are the old trees. These are planted.
Okay. We have one little glitch going on.
Too bad, too bad.
Let me stop this for just a second. I think I need to minimize.
I have a question for you guys about this avocados. You can tell I'm a farm wife. Do you have any idea what they get? Well, per pound, per bushel, for whatever. That's their wholesale price. Do you have any idea? I have no clue. I mean, I can tell you about corn, but I can't tell you about avocados.
You know, we could probably find that out for you. I'm sure we've read it in the last few days.
That's okay. I just thought maybe
I don't have that. I don't have that off the top of my head, but I mean, I'm sure we could probably figure that. We could probably find that out for you. I don't know. My guess is it changes a little bit based on the
well, it always does.
you know,
it goes up and down just like corn or beans or anything else.
yeah. But I honestly don't know. But we'll find that out for you, Nancy.
I had to cause trouble, didn't I?
Well, you know, I'd be surprised if you didn't. But I usually cause trouble for you, so fair play.
This is true.
Fair play.
Okay, so I think I can get that other video going without the
We were
other one
stalling.
over the top. All right, let's try it this way instead.
And now we're in peak California avocado season. So hope you enjoy this look around the farm.
Didn't work it, huh?
No. And we practiced last night.
I just checked and it said the cost per bushel of avocados is $42.
See, leave it to Shirley to be up there and.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Third time's a charm.
Okay, good. Good.
Right?
There we go.
No, it's not showing. Well, that's okay.
Christina, you might try copying and pasting the link from your Word page into a web browser and seeing if it'll work that way.
we not getting the sound?
We're not, we're not seeing it
Okay,
on the screen.
okay. But the first one worked great, right?
Yeah, I know. Well,
Okay, let's see here. Let me try just reloading the whole thing. See what this does. Go here. And set. Let's go here. Yeah, I'm paused, so I'm stuck.
again? Oh, you're stuck
Yeah.
again. Okay, that happened last night too. All right, that's all right. We'll send you a link for it. How's that? So that you can watch it, because it's very interesting, because it is this woman that actually is taking you through on her golf cart through her avocado orchard.
Nice.
So it would have been it would have been very nice, but we'll send out the link so that you can watch it, because we found it kind of interesting. It's like a 6-minute video. It's very short. But one of the other things we've discovered is that, of course, we come from California, so we have to talk a little bit about wine also. So the perfect wine to go with avocados tends to be a white wine. And I actually have, I've actually picked a Pinot Grigio tonight that's from the Monterey County, which is close to me. From Noble Vines. Okay, I would drink it, but I feel I should probably get through the rest of the meeting before I start drinking. So if you haven't figured out by now, and I'm not, I don't see the recipes in the chat either. So we're having technical difficulties. So we were going to put recipes in there for guacamole and some cowboy caviar. And if you haven't figured out by now, we like to give you recipes, because we have managed to give you recipes in the national newsletter, in our own state newsletter. And I will have to tell you a funny thing about that is that it's great to share recipes, but I don't cook. So I usually can find recipes, but you know, Chris is very good about being the one that says, maybe not, because that's too complicated. So we're going to also give you some information about wine pairings, because there were some recipes in there, of course, in the wine pairings. And the one that sounded actually good to me was the avocado butter. To put, like, I was thinking avocado butter would go great on Melba toast. And that is from Wine Spectator, and I don't see that going. Okay, because I tried putting that in there already. So we're going to move along very quickly, and I'm going to give Chris the floor, because Chris is lucky enough to wear another hat in the organization, and that is of the National Director of Scholarship. And I believe she might have some good news to tell us about scholarships and how they are going.
Yeah, so I am the National Director of Scholarships, and as you've heard, the goals of NSDOAF really center on identifying and honoring past, present, and future American farmers. So as our President National mentioned, 60% of the original membership fee and 100% of the supplemental application fees go directly to the organization's scholarship fund. So that is really unique and unlike other organizations. Since the inception of NSDOAF in March of 2019, now over $26,000 in scholarship funds have been awarded to students. So this is also really something different. There are 2 application periods, one that is in January and one that in August, and allows us to provide support to college and university students who have soft and are enrolled in agri in the fall and in the spring semesters. So right now we're going through an abundance of scholarship applications, for the periods come to a close actually tomorrow on January 15th in order to select those students who are going to be the recipient of scholarships up to about 2,000 for the spring semester. So this is really exciting standpoint, being an educator myself and working with students to reach a few professionals for the students in ag programs. So these scholarships, and we're looking for characteristics that really embody the student that has a goal, pursue their dreams. In ag, be with a family farm or orchard, on a ranch, something along those lines. As of this afternoon, of 34 applications in our queue from 13 of our states, which is quite amazing, including 4 from the state of California. So oftentimes California isn't thought of as a big ag. But Cal has really been getting behind us and spreading word about scholarships. And I'm super excited to see the interest that's been generated. So nearly a dozen applications, and it isn't closing until tomorrow. It's super exciting. So I have a committee that next week we're reviewing these applications starting. There are so many of them, and we're looking forward to really make some dreams true for some serving students this year. So this is super exciting. We're trying to get items in the chat for you, and I think maybe the glitch may be that we're not set up as hosts. Genesu, could you help us at all with, can put those items in there? Alternatively, I could shoot them over to you and maybe you could upload them for us.
Yes. Chris, I put you on as host when you came in,
Okay,
but I can.
then we'll,
it's
okay, see if we can get that up, as we have super cool stuff for you. That is my exciting scholar information to share. It's really a deal for us. Sue will see if we can get those things back in the chat there somehow.
Okay. So I'd like to mention, as the National Director of Membership, the organizational goals for the next year. We are hoping to have 2,000 members by the end of this year, which is a big goal. But we got some very good news today, which I think will help us meet that goal. Originally, the ending date for farmers, the farm organization, was 1900. Today, we just got news that we will be able to extend the date from July 4th, 1776 to July 4th, 1914. So that gives us a whole another 14 years. So in essence, a huge next generation of which to be able to use the 1900 census to find farmers. And also it adds 3 different states, because there were 3 states that became part of the Union between 1907 and 1912. So that is exciting news. So start looking again, because I'll bet you there's some additional supplements in there, supplementals in there that you might be able to get now that we've added those extra years. I would also like to ask for your help in getting us to that number. I know sometimes when you talk to people, or you start to talk to people about the one-time fee, it's daunting, but the best way to present it is that 60% of it does go to scholarships, which is huge. And we anticipate at this point that we are looking at possibly, depending on the number of people that keep coming in and do supplementals, that we might be able to have scholarships out into the future for at least 25 or 25 to 50 years, depending on how we will really be looking to you to increase the numbers in California. We currently have 42 members. So we'd like to see those numbers go up. And I would like to ask our Registrar National to actually give us the number of how many members we have in the organization as a total.
Yes, happy to. And we are proud of each of you for being such a big part of these thrilling numbers. 1,094 adults, 43 youth, and we have 750 supplements. Neat. Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you, Davina. That's really nice. Did we get we haven't got anything in the chat. I can't get in there right now. So we'll go to, and if the chat wasn't working for us, there may not be any questions and answers, or are there any questions that we need to ask? It looks like there's no questions.
No, I can read the chat. I can't upload any data to the chat for some reason.
That's fine. We have some really cool stuff that we want to make sure that you get. So we'll send an email with the items to you, because I think some of them you'll find kind of interesting. So we do apologize for that. So are there any questions that you would like to ask of President National, Registrar National, Youth Director, Scholarship Director at this time? Or did we kind of just, overwhelm you with what we gave you?
Jared, this should give you an opportunity to give us at least 10 more supplements.
Right?
Unfortunately, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
Jared is one of our highest supplements. Davina, do you remember how many he had? I do. Jared, do you know?
It's a lot. Is it 40?
I want to say 40, but I was just guessing.
Yeah.
I think it is 40, because I counted the other night.
Jared has that reputation.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right.
So
lots of supplementals.
Jared has 40.
Well, it's all from my mom, and I know my mom's highly involved in this group from New York. But I can trace my dad's ancestry for 200 years and not one farmer.
Wow.
That's unusual.
Yeah, it's very unusual. That's what I say, but not one.
Too bad.
All right. Well, we just have, since there's no questions, we just have a few announcements. One is the next speaker series is February 2nd. It will be featuring Charbet Distillery, which is found in St. Helena, California. So we will get to feature one of our own vineyards here. And then Asher Chocolate, so that is located in Pennsylvania. March, the actual date has not been confirmed, but I can tell you that it will be a barn tour and a lambing, because it's lambing season, and we will again be able to see what Shepherd's cheese does that comes out of Putney, Vermont. And they were just one of our recent presenters, just 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And then April 5th, this is an important date to remember, is the National Caucus, which will be on Zoom. And it will be an important event to attend because there will be voting involved for the election of the next board to serve for several years. And the next Cultivated California newsletter will be out at the end of March. We have one last piece of business, and there is a local orchard near me that is known for their hand dipped chocolate covered apricots. So I have a 1 pound box for one of our members that has attended this evening. This orchard has been active for the last 90 years. It has definitely shrunk through the years, but they still produce apricots every year. And I believe there might be someone on here that might have gotten some chocolate covered apricots recently. And and so we will pick a winner, and I'm not going to show it because since we can't share. I have a randomizer, and based on our attendees, I put your names in as I watched you come in. It looks like Judy Patootie won, Eliana won. So obviously she will not be eating the chocolate covered apricots, but hopefully her parents will. And I will make sure to make arrangements to drop them off at your home in the next week. What?
I live not far from you, so it's convenient.
Yes, I know. So I'll make the arrangements to drop them off. It's nice. I don't have to drop them in the mail. So once again, any questions?
Sue, would you
Yes,
please explain to them about the neck ribbons?
Oh, yeah, I don't have mine on, but I'm more than happy to explain about the neck ribbons. I did not put mine on this evening. There are neck ribbons. For those of you, of course, a lot of ladies wear ribbons and understand that, but if you are not, you don't want to wreck more clothing, or you don't want to buy a ribbon or upgrade ribbons, there is a neck ribbon that you can get. And on that, you are able to, if you buy your state pins, you can put your state pin on there. And you may also purchase based on the number of ancestors you have. You can get different colored stars. Help me with the colors, please, because I don't recall.
Red for 5. Nancy, would you hold yours up since you've got yours on?
You've got yours on. Nancy
Red for 5, silver for 1. So you can do the 1 on the base, and then you can go up 5s on all of them. And they are for women and men. Thanks, Nancy. That looks great.
I just don't have any stars yet, though. Those are my other pins, but.
So, and it isn't official, so you may put any other of the pins on them.
So.
In one piece.
And Janice Sue, we just have a new one. It's green for the youth, correct?
Oh, yes, it's right.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You just announced that.
Yeah.
The green one
Just
for the youth.
that.
So.
Well, if there are no questions.
Sue, I don't have a question.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
But when I discovered we were doing avocados, I ran down and asked my husband how much he was paid for avocados in the late 50s. He used to go cut his avocados off the tree in the backyard with one of those long poles, and he would take it over to the local avocado dealers, and he said he was given 25 cents per avocado. That was in the late 50s. So
well, thank you.
The people who had individual avocado trees in their backyard could take them to the dealers and sell them individually. So so that's what he did.
That is very interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
Sue, before you end, would you please let everyone introduce themselves, but also Nancy. Nancy is my national organizing director.
I'm more than happy to go through everyone.
Thank you.
Bet.
I don't know all of them. Thank you.
Yeah, that's okay. So I'm going to call you by name as I see you on my screen. So Sue Ross, could you tell us where you live and your ancestor and where they're from?
Okay, so I live in Saratoga, California, just like Sue Fitz, in fact, 4 blocks away from her. And my ancestor is Quintilius Moon from Idaho. And then I think I have a couple supplementals behind him.
Okay.
And so now when you've extended the date, I can I can do one of my other ones.
Okay, see, that is why I think that's a great thing about that date being extended. I think it's going to open up a lot of possibilities for a lot more people.
Yeah,
So-
Quintilius is a great grandfather, and now I can do a grandfather. So that's great.
Generation.
Yeah, it's a whole generation. I think that's wonderful. So Cynthia, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself also? I know that Janice Sue did introduce you, but I'd like you to introduce yourself to the rest of our members.
Well, I live in Kentucky. I'm the Kentucky and Indiana ambassador, and I'm also the assistant for Janice Sue. I'm the one that sends you copies of your approved applications and supplements, and y'all keep me very busy.
You're important. Wow.
Very important.
That's an important job. So next on my screen is Christina. And do you have anything else you want to add? Or we'll skip you.
You can skip me. I have farmers all over the place, in California, in Tennessee, in Arkansas, Indiana, Ohio, all over the place. And I wish I could get these documents in the chat for you. So I'm sitting here trying to figure that out.
I know. I knew what you were doing. I could tell. I'm so sorry. So next is Laura Nygaard.
I'm Laura Nygaard. I live in Rancho Santa Margarita, California, right across the street from Chris. My initial ancestor was my great-grandfather, John Phillips from Missouri, but then I've also done a supplemental on Alameda Faust, who was my great-great-grandmother. I wanted to try and get any females I could in there, and I'm working on another one.
And Laura has made 2 of my ribbon pouches, my insignia pouches. You do beautiful work, Laura.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have to attest to that fact. I own several of her items. And the workmanship is just fantastic. So, and then Nancy, I'm going to go to you, and you can tell us a little bit more.
Oh, I'm Nancy. Let's see, am I on? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you are.
Nancy Gilfillan, and I am the Illinois ambassador, and home really is in Illinois, but we spend the winters in Florida. So I'm sort of confused. I'm confused all the time anyway. I am also the organizing director, which means, I think it means that all the ambassadors come to me, and then I go to Janice Sue, and so I'm sort of the middleman. That's what I call myself. I'm kind of the liaison between the states and Janice Sue. My original ancestor's John Miles, and he was actually in the Black Hawk War, and he was an attorney on the circuit with Abraham Lincoln. So I think that's sort of cool. And then I have several ancestors, but I do have a string of 6 of them, which I thought was kind of neat. Mostly from Pennsylvania, and then as they moved out to Illinois.
That's great. So Shirley, you're up next. Sorry, you're mute. Yeah, you got on mute. So.
I live in Santa Ana, California. I have obviously numerous farmers in my line. They are from the state of Colorado, Vermont, and Pennsylvania, and the surnames are Cloverdance, Kibler, and Goodyear.
Good job. And then I see Maureen next. So do you want to tell us a little bit about yours?
Okay, my farmer, and now that I think about with the dates, I'm going to look for another one, is Conrad Luther. He was a Hessian soldier from in Pennsylvania and a direct descendant of Martin Luther the Reformer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that is really cool. So Sharon Garrison.
Hi, I'm Sharon Garrison. I live in Brentwood, California, but in the northern Brentwood, which actually has the zip code, not the Brentwood that's near UCLA. I just try and want to make sure I clarify that for everybody. My ancestor is James Bridenstine. He was my second great grandfather. He was born in Pennsylvania, but he did most of his farming, or that I documented, was in Iowa. I haven't done any others, but because I actually do have other farmers, but I've only done him because I thought, oh, it was easy. I could just go through one of my DAR patriots and get James.
Okay, that sounds good. Joan Bogerty, you are next.
Hi, I live in Tustin, which is 8 miles south of Disneyland. And that's always the easiest way to find it. And my farmers primarily have all come from Kansas. So the first one I filed was from there, and I plan on doing several more because when I go back through all of them, they all show up as farmers. So I have a few coming. Tustin used to be a little tiny town that was surrounded by nothing but orange groves and avocado groves. And those avocado groves that Chris was showing today, the farmers from Tustin moved down to Fountain or the Valley Center where they are today. And we are now surrounded by nothing but houses and concrete. So.
Well, but you have Disneyland, right? So that's a good thing.
Yeah, with nothing but buildings between here and there.
Yeah, that's the bad thing. Yeah. So, Lee Ware, I'm going to go ahead and pick on you.
Mine's a little more complicated. I grew up in Modesto. My family immigrated to California in the middle 1800s, and we're all farmers. And then I got married. We lived a long time in California, and then we bought an RV, and we've been 22 years on the road with Texas as the home address. So I guess technically I'm a Texan, not a Californian.
We'll let you in.
Oh, thank you. My ancestor is Cyrus Carleton. And since I've been dealing with DAR supplements back in Massachusetts in the 1600s, I couldn't tell you what state he was from at this point. I've forgotten. Yeah, my daughter Shelley may know when you get
Okay.
Maine.
Is it Maine?
It's
Okay,
Maine.
I was going to call on Shelley next because I figured it was just an easy segue. So Shelley, do you have this same same ancestor, or did you go through another one?
I found out about the organization and told Mom she should join too. So I actually have a number right below Mom's. So, but they put her in Texas for some weird reason, you know, that address part.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm in Hollister, in the apricot orchards. And then I grew up in Gilroy, which is known for its garlic farms and their festival that they have every year. And then as Mom is sending me stuff for another organization, I found 4 more farmers in the same, you know, husband, wife, kid, grandkid.
All right.
Today
Generations.
in California.
Good. We like that. Generations.
Yeah.
And Pat Goldman, you are next.
Thank you. I live in Placentia, California, not too far from Joan. My ancestor is my second great grandfather, Jacob Straw, and he was from Indiana.
Great. Thank you. Then I see Carol.
Versalino?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for that help. I will learn that name, I promise.
It's not easy to pronounce. I'm in Pleasanton, and my grandfather came out from Missouri in 1896, and he purchased 580 acres from Leland Stanford in Livermore. So that's I went with the closest one because he was the easiest to honor.
Oh, no, I like that. That's really good. Okay, so I'll go to Sarah.
I'm Sarah Rao, and this is Eliana Rao, and she's lying on the floor right now, happily kicking. So that's what the thumping is. Our ancestor is, we live in Sunnyvale, California, and our ancestor is Henry William Hancock from Florida. And he is buried in Townsend House Cemetery along with 4 generations of my ancestors, ending with my grandparents. So I've been there to see that. Obviously, she's traveled nowhere because she was born in July. So she was born in July and she joined the organization in September. So she was about 2.5 months old.
We're so thrilled to have her.
Yeah. So, Jared, I'll go with you next.
It's kind of hard, but I'll go with, most of them are from Indiana and Ohio. I kind of just jotted notes, eight different states. Out of the 41 ancestors, there are 5 women. 8 of them are Revolutionary soldiers. 3 of them fought in 1812, 2 in the Civil War, and 2 of them are common ancestors to American presidents.
Oh, wow. That's a good That's good lineage.
Well, with 41, I have a lot to play with. Right?
Yeah, no, but that's really good lineage. Thank you. And can you tell us where you live?
Oh, sorry. I live in Thousand Oaks, which is kind of near Malibu. It's actually west of LA, which confuses people because they think it's in the ocean, but it's what's developing.
Okay.
The coastline's interesting. Yeah.
Jared, are you near the fire?
There is actually, I keep on getting these updates. Apparently there's fire somewhere close that people can smell in town. I just haven't been outside.
It was on the news before.
Yeah, apparently there's a fire near me. I just haven't opened.
Oh,
people are smelling it. I'm getting all these updates, but I haven't checked it.
Okay.
I should probably check that. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, we do care about that. And then
yeah, thank you. And all the California people understand this, which is,
yes,
there's farming, but there's also this issue.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. And then Francis.
Yes. I'm Francis and I live in San Luis Obispo, California. And my person that got me into your group is William Pitzer from Virginia, and that's on my mother's side. And I have farmers on my dad's side that came from Missouri and to California, and I want to do them as a supplements next.
Oh, great.
Good.
Sue,
So does that help?
Yes, thank you so much. Sue, may I please explain for those of you who are using DAR or another line, proven line, you may go all the way up it. So if you chose an American Revolutionary Soldier as your patriot for a farmer, you can actually go down or up from you, and sometimes that will give you additional farmers. You may also go on the link, so if you're doing a male down and then you do the wife, you can actually jump from that wife to her parents. So it's still a short form. It requires a couple of extra sheets of paper, but it does give you some extra supplements.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, call Davina.
And so, I got lucky because I used my DAR patriot who ended up being a farmer, and then I got 3 generations out of it. So it is worth it to look at your other organization applications to see what you can find.
Davina has funny stories about proofs that she gets. Davina, share with them your latest proof for your female farmer from the one person.
On the census, it says conducts farming, conducts farm. So you can just see her out there conducting the animals. Funny. Some census person just wrote that word in.
Oh. Are there any questions or anything or suggestions that you have that you would like to see us do in California?
I think we should have a tour there one year.
Well, that sounds like a good idea. I hear I need to, when the state will open up again, I hear I have a distillery I'm to go visit.
Yes, and you are going to, those of you who will join us for the Charbet, We have known Marco and his parents for a number of years. They used to have a very small distillery. I've been drinking their white port for years, and then their black walnut liqueur. And he now has all different flavors of vodka and bourbon and all different kinds of liquors. But I mean, he has a great family operation. And then I don't know if all of you remember, but at one time I sent you all a link and I said a friend of ours was selling hand sanitizer, and they had been in the fires out there. So they converted all of their distillery to hand sanitizers. And Davina and I are using it, and we still believe it's the best hand sanitizer that we've ever had.
Favorite, her favorite.
It is. So you're going to love them. They're sweet people, sweet, and they'll give you an education while we're there.
So if there is no further questions and no further discussion, I say thank you all very much for coming this evening. And thank you. And please do try to find some more supplementals, because that will help Chris be able to give out more scholarships.
We want to
which
help
is really important. Chris,
And
do you
we
have any
don't
closing
want
remarks?
Davina to be bored.
We don't
Right. There
We
you go.
don't want Davina to be bored. She needs
No,
to
we
be
don't.
busy.
No, we don't. Right.
Ladies, to Sue, to you and Chris, we thank you so much for this marvelous California Zoom. To you both.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Well done.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Chris, you'll have to turn it off because I am no longer the host. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Sarah, she's a doll.